Oh, who? Why? Who reanimated this? Generic controller that accuracy here, back with another nostalgic video. Today we're doing Freaky Fred, which I completely forgot who Freaky Fred was until I saw the thumbnail, and that image will never leave my mind. I remember watching Courage the Cowardly Dog as a kid. A lot of people in the last week's video were talking in the comment section about Courage the Cowardly Dog, like Freaky Fred and Never Turn the Slab or Face My Curse, which I think scarred every person that's ever, or every kid that's ever watched that video. But last week's video was Shark Tale, which had the Will Smith fish. You want to check my reaction to that video? I'll leave it right up there. Also give it a link down below in the description. Also go to place my channel with all of my other nostalgic reactions going in chronological order. Now that video did have a charity shout out at the end of the video, and it was for Breast Cancer Alliance. I believe that video made $9.21 in the first day of ad revenue, and then I donated to Breast Cancer Alliance right there, which you probably can't even like see that, but there I of course blocked out my information and whatnot, but that just shows you that's pretty much half of what that video is ever going to make over the entire lifespan that's on my channel for the most part. So gave it all up to charity, so your review can go towards charity because maybe you can't afford to donate to a charity, but the video you're watching helps support me because you're watching the video and you're liking and subscribing and whatnot, and your view also goes towards the charity, a great cause, breast cancer. So hopefully that makes you happy, hopefully it makes your day a little bit better, hopefully you enjoy my videos, hopefully I can make you smile for the next 15 or so minutes. But shout out to patrons, because without them I would not be able to make donations to charities based off the nostalgic videos. And if this video has a charity shout out at the end of the video, I will also be donating whenever this video makes in the first day to said charity, as long as the charity will take my money and exist. So Freaky Fred is apparently based off a real serial killer. Based off the comments, I do read all your comments, leave them down below. And this is a one-man show, so your support means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and jump to Freaky Fred. Alright.
If you look around my office, you might realize I have kind of a love for dark, twisted cartoons.
Obviously.
And a lot of that may be because I grew up with a lot of dark, twisted cartoons.
I didn't.
Now, I'm not talking about the ones like
I did watch Courage the Cowardly Dog,
that were meant for older kids. I'm talking about the ones that were meant for little kids, and they probably should have been made for little kids. And I loved the hell out of them. I enjoyed how much they scared me. I loved how every time you got through one, you felt a little tougher.
Why?
So I'm doing a series reacting and reviewing them. We're gonna analyze how
so was that Bowsette back there on the
and if the dark
to the left of the screen
was warranted. So join me in taking a look at some dark.
That is Bowsette. And if this video has a charity shout out at the end of the video, whatever this video makes in the first day will get donated to that charity. So shout out to the patrons. I could not do this
demand, this is
them.
Freaky Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Show about a dog.
He's afraid of everything.
He's cowardly.
Yep.
Named Courage. I didn't see every cartoon. Freaky Fred premiered on Cartoon Network December 3rd, 1999. And while I didn't watch much of Courage, I think I was going into college at the time, I've seen this
Holy crap, he was going to college.
Recommended so much, and I can say it's definitely worth analyzing. Let's take a look.
I'm trying to remember the whole Freaky Fred.
The initial idea of this show is nothing that new. It's about a dog who always comes across these supernatural elements. He lives with a farmer and his wife, who he always tries to save from the supernatural elements.
It's terrifying.
And they are never aware that anything is wrong. This is a scenario that's been done a lot. It's been done on Buttons and Mindy. It's been done.
Never heard of that one. Heard of that one.
Probably the most similar is Eek the Cat, where it's a little
never heard of that one.
cat whose owners and friends
I think
are
you
always
mentioned
in
that in another
trouble
video.
and they're never aware of it, and he always saves the day and he always ends up getting hurt. Very similar, but they're still pretty different. They have different feels to them. This has more of a dark, ghoulish side, where Eek was more Ren and Stimpy, eyes popping out, that kind of stuff. But if you like Courage, check out Eek. You might like it.
Hello, new friend. My name is Fred.
It gives
I like the shadow here because the rest of the bus should be in shadow, or maybe even darker than him. But
a Rusty Spoons video.
And this is that flexible lighting I'm always talking
about. What is that
about.
called?
You see
Salad
something
fingers.
like this in Lord of the Rings with the ring race, where their faces are always covered, always in shadow. And that's just not possible. At some point, light would hit them and you would see them, but for the uncomfortableness, not seeing the entire figure, they keep it entirely in shadow. And this is how we start off here. And I think by having it where
he's just a
the
silhouette.
bus isn't as dark, I think it kind of adds an extra element of comedy because he's just silhouetted already. Even though it doesn't make a whole ton of sense, that's just kind of the menacing nature of what we're already being introduced to.
Yeah, literally.
The words
Nowhere.
here are in my head. I said my name is Fred.
So I'm gonna
I don't
dive
like
into this
it.
more, but I want
I
you
don't
to
like
keep
it.
in mind
I
whether
remember
you've seen
this.
or
I don't
haven't
like
seen
it.
this. A lot of people say this is the scariest episode of Courage, and Freaky Fred is just terrifying.
I don't know about terrifying,
but if you
just
really think
unsettling.
About it, he doesn't do anything that menacing. It's not even really that dark. when you really think about what happens in this cartoon is not that dark. It's all about the presentation. The way it starts off immediately.
Why is there a
with
bus
the
going
way
by
she
the
speaks
farm?
Is different from how everybody else speaks. Everyone
Oh,
talks
did they
pretty
have, like, a
normal in
guest?
this, but he,
Yeah.
off the bat, is speaking in rhyme. He's speaking in this very elegant way, but it's also something you don't
I
hear
hope
very
nothing's
often.
ever blurred.
The story I'm about to tell, I tell you, I will tell it well, and just
Will
how
you?
I've been naughty.
He always emphasizes the word
Naughty.
naughty, and the reason that's so scary
Dude, it's bringing
is
back so
because
many
he's speaking this
bad
certain way,
memories.
but that one word brings special delight to him, and he says it the same way every time because he takes delight in stretching that word out
And
because it
being
brings him
naughty.
such joy, and that's a very alarming thing.
I like how you had the backdrop there because the bars were gone.
Lad fled to arrive.
An interesting element looking back at some of these Courage cartoons is that it's one of the few bits of entertainment where it's got a lot of shadows, but it's got a lot of color too. Not just color, like very vibrant colors. On top of my head, I can't think of that many forms of entertainment that can combine them so well. Top of my head, I'm thinking Dick Tracy, Suspiria did that. And one of the reasons you don't see it often is it's
Clueless.
very tricky to do because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Usually when you have a lot of shadows, the environment is very dark, it's not vibrant. So you usually see sort of a lot of shadows and maybe one color like blue or green or something like that. But because it's a cartoon, you can get away, like I said, with that flexible lighting. So it's really cool to see, especially in
God.
something that's as old as this is.
My heart
1999?
as I drew near. I felt so nice and naughty.
Stop
One
it.
of the reasons I think people do find this so scary is because there's so much build up to it. It isn't just the fact that he speaks weird and he looks weird. He hasn't
Looks
even
weird.
met anyone yet. He hasn't even done anything on this bus. It's just
He's
him
just
talking
talking.
to himself. If this is what he's like by himself, it's terrifying to think what he's like around other people. And
Or
they set
you.
up right away, he's a barber. And even though it's
Barber.
very unlikely kids have seen Sweeney Todd, I think there's already kind of a
nope.
creepy idea about barbers, that they're people with scissors and you're in a chair and you just have to sort of let them do what they do. If they want to kill you, they could.
I'm a barber.
So I think
Anthony's
that's why
the
a lot
best.
of kids are kind of scared of barbers sometimes. I think this taps into
I need to go see him, actually.
a
I'm a
fear
mess.
that is both creepy but kind of funny too.
Oh, he's just thinking
I
the
don't know if
worst
this
thing.
is
I like
a
there's
thing
mime.
anymore, but hating mimes used to be a really
Why? 'Cause
popular
they're
joke,
just
especially
silent?
in the 90s. Like, everybody just hated mimes. I guess today it'd be living statues, which is kind of the same thing, but mimes was always sort of the go-to. Oh no, not them! So if you see them in older media, it was kind of a big running joke back then.
I
Yeah.
thought just how excited they must be that I would come
No.
today.
The
No.
way he
No.
speaks also,
No.
I don't know if this is intentional, but it's eerily similar to an Edgar Allan Poe character. I very much think Tall Tale Heart, where again it's mostly
I haven't
just
read
this
anything
person
from
talking,
Edgar Allan
saying
Poe.
what happened, and it's that very similar kind of both turmoil and joy at the same time. One of my favorite things, Courage is on the stairs, and when his eyes look, you hear a creak. Is
Oh.
that the stairs, or is that his eyes creaking? I like to think it's his eyes creaking, but again, in a very
I don't
clever
know.
way,
Or maybe it was
don't
just
think they're
timed with
entirely
Courage
letting you
moving.
know, it could be either.
A doggy dog. Like dog, he spelled.
Uh-huh.
D-O-G is what he spelled.
I also
sound.
like his rhymes aren't very good. Like, why is he speaking in this way? But you know why, don't you? It brings him joy. For whatever reason, it brings him joy. There's lots of characters that have big
Home for
smiles
freaky
and they're
barbers?
fine. You can see people with a very comforting smile, a welcoming
Turns
smile.
a band.
But with Freaky Fred, I think it's the eyes. You can pretty much take any comforting smile, but if you put
The
intense
yellow and
eyes
green.
on it, it'll immediately become scary. And I think any good cartoonist, animator knows it's all in the eyes. The eyes are all you need to convey
That's true,
something.
yeah.
I think even though the smile is great too and exaggerated, if those eyes weren't there, it wouldn't be nearly as
That's
great.
very true. Oh, well, that's a...
Would you like to
That
freshen
thing.
up?
Yes. Been quite a trip, it has.
For a show that very much likes to show
Like how they're
creepy
sharing the
bugs
couch.
and monsters and stuff like that, again, I think for a character that's just smiling to leave the biggest impact says something. Also, the fact his expression never changes.
He's always a
that
smile.
smile. There's two terrifying things you can do with that. You can either have him keep that same expression throughout the whole thing, which I'm pretty sure they do in this, or they can have it change at one point. Imagine if he suddenly got angry and it turned into a frown. How terrifying would that be? Because you're so used to the smile. Like, if that's what the smile looks like, what does a frown look like? I think if they went really big with like creepy huge eyes or like bugs in the smile or something like that, like the show usually does, it wouldn't have been as effective. It has to be something where you feel like this person can sneak into your home and do something awful. It's just a dude. And sometimes just whatever is going inside the mind of a dude is
butterfly
more terrifying than any monster.
Courage.
And the voice is just
kind of
so
what
good.
I was talking about, where you have something that's established,
and then it changes.
Just his voice. His voice has the same tone throughout the whole thing, so that when it suddenly dips down a little lower, where he just says his name, Courage, like that's not scary, but doing it in that lower tone where you're so used to the same thing from him all the time,
stop that.
you know that when something changes, it's not going to be good, and it's unsettling.
It was a day I'd not forget.
I don't like scary things. I'm playing to Resident Evil 4.
So finally we're getting into a little bit of the backstory of this character and why we're
I don't really remember the backstory.
Of him. Even that hamster looks disturbing. I mean, this is a cartoon with cute little animals in it. They could easily make that hamster cute, but no, they had to make it this unadorable thing.
That's when I got naughty.
He actually looks cuter without the
shaved
flaws. So there you go. You have the first major naughty
and doesn't he like shave
did.
Courage or something?
Of course, like traditional psychopaths, it starts on a pet, and then it's going to move on.
Oh, is that a thing? They started with the
where
pet?
It started, that's kind of funny. You shave the hamster, whatever, but where's it gonna go now?
Unfurl sweet memories of a girl and tempt me to be naughty.
What?
Now, what am I supposed to say to that?
I don't know.
Barbara, my love was named.
Wonderfully exaggerated.
That's a lot of hair.
Also creepy, very much like
a
the
doll.
big eye drawings from the 50s and 60s. The kind of kitsch art that and you
reminds me of Bioshock Infinite.
Until one evening, I'm ashamed, I got a little naughty.
And shaved all of her hair off.
There's so many ways this can be scary.
Did he
But
cut
you look
her
at
hair off,
what
I think?
they're actually saying and showing, and nothing has happened, like, at all. Again, it's the power of suggestion.
Who wrote this and
is
why?
The part where I'm sure, like a lot of you, I got really uncomfortable and really creeped out, where I had to remind myself, it's a kid's show. They're not going to do anything that bad.
Are you sure about that?
And as we see, they really don't.
I realized she needed space.
So at this point,
you could say
finally starting to put it together. This is all it's going to be. And if you're like me, you're kind of saying to yourself, wow, how did they do this? How did they create just this uncomfortable feeling without really doing anything? That there's no monsters, there's no murders,
the voice
there's not
acting
even any
really sells
violence.
it.
I mean, if you were to tell someone, yeah, there's an episode about a barber who goes to Courage and shaves his fur, and he cut this little girl's hair and shaved a hamster. I mean, it's like, okay, well, that sounds goofy, silly. You wouldn't think.
Yeah, you would think
it's
it'd be
the
unsettling and
scariest
scary.
episode of the show that already has a lot of creepy, scary things. 90s cell phones.
I'd never seen such hair before.
Another great element
always
you
smiling.
can always add to make someone more creepy. Just add sweat. I mean, he has the same smile as always, but
Why
you
is his
see
sweat
that
green?
sweat. It's an extra element that's either extreme discomfort or even more terrifying, extreme comfort.
What more is there to shave? Oh
What
no.
I also love with the awkward social norms is that he beckons him to come forward like he feels he has enough control over him that he would. Enough control or trust. And
It's
again,
almost
that just
almost
shows how
threatening
not on
in
this
nature.
plane he is.
That would be weird.
Even when he knows the jig is up, he's still so happy. There is something so uncomfortable about not people being happy, but people who are happy all the time.
Even when getting
There's
caught.
no acknowledgement of other emotions. I feel like people want to be balanced. They don't like
It's
sad
something
or
bad-
angry emotions,
yeah.
but you need them. They're very important. And when someone just completely denies that and erases it from their consciousness,
It's concerning.
You know there's something off about them and that something bad can come from them.
Oh.
Then my landlords did presume.
For those wondering why
My
there's not
landlords.
a straitjacket on him, I think that's supposed to be like a barber cloth, like you put around someone when you cut their hair. Because again, this is for mentally ill barbers, so
Not
I think
actual
that's the
mentally
joke
ill
there.
people.
Farewell, Critic.
Instead of cutting
What's the
fur,
harm?
it's
If I
their
was
probably heads
slightly
or skin
naughty.
with
All right,
love.
as much as I love this cartoon, there's two missed opportunities. One, I think when the door closes, they should have held on that and the ambulance driving away with him just looking at them. I think that would have been scarier.
It would have.
Two, that really should have said the end. It's just,
Oh,
you know,
instead
or
of-
maybe not. Maybe that joke's been done too many times, but I think it
I
would have
agree
been
with
funnier.
those.
So there you go. That is apparently the most terrifying episode.
And I
of
agree.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
pretty
Freaky
unsettling.
Fred, where almost nothing happens. A guy uses an electric shaver to shave a dog.
And he's
That's
based off
it.
of a real
And he
person,
gave
isn't he?
people
I'm sure the comments are going to tell me.
bad
I'll also be
haircuts.
streaming today.
That's it. That's
Restoring
not scary.
a
But I
ancient
think this
city in
cartoon should be
Minecraft.
studied about how much the delivery can just make a huge impact. I mean, again, this is a show with aliens and monsters and ghosts,
And,
but
yeah,
it's a dude
curses.
who likes cutting hair. That's
Like,
the
he
most
loves cutting hair way
terrifying.
too much.
He does nothing violent at all. And even compared to the other creatures, he doesn't look
Big time
that
salad fingers
terrifying.
vibes.
But there's something about social cues that people, even little kids, pick up on. And I think they're really exploited here to the best degree, where they try to very much just have these little clues, these creepy smiles, the eyes, the way he talks, the way he emphasizes certain words. You really don't need to do that much in terms of getting a scare across. And
It's a kid
I
show.
think this is proved by it being the scariest episode. It's actually so scary that there is a video where they reanimated it because they're such fans of this episode and
Why?
how strange
Who
it is.
reanimated
I
this?
really feel like this is a cartoon
Was that
should be
fan-made or
studied
is
and
that-
analyzed for how to do something
Why?
disturbing without actually doing anything disturbing.
I
Hey
hate
everyone, I
that.
got a couple of these lined up. If there's any
Dark Toons?
particular cartoon you
Oh, is
want
there no
me to
charity
look
shout
at
out?
as being
Oh.
very dark or twisted, leave it in the comments below. Again,
Oh.
I'm not really looking for movie scenes.
Should
or
I do the Return to
cartoons
the
meant for
Slab?
Teenagers or older. I'm talking about ones meant for little kids, but still scare the shit out of you. Whether it's an old cartoon or a new cartoon, let me know what you want me to look at.
I don't know. Let me know what the next nostalgic video should be. I do read all your comments. The last one was Shark Tale. If you were interested in watching that, which is actually a movie I have seen, and I have watched Courage the Cowardly Dog, even though as terrifying as that was, because I was scared of everything as a kid. I'm still scared of scary movies now. My girlfriend wanted to show me Hereditary the other day, and we watched that, and that movie was really, really good. It was a good movie. I was definitely scared. I'm still scared, but it was a really, really well done movie. Freaky Fred. I completely blocked this out of my memory until I saw the thumbnail, and then all the memories came back to me like a freight train, just out of nowhere. So, and then the Return to Slabber Face My Curse is another thing, and there's always a nostalgic video dropping on Mondays. So come back for the next one. Hope you're subscribed. You can also become a patron and get the videos a day early and support the channel. Allow me to donate ad revenue to charities and whatnot. But I hope I had a wonderful rest today. Hope they made time a little better. But until next video, take care and keep the music.